Yeah, I think both of them have been equally important for me. I've been super, super lucky to take private lessons with some of the best saxophone players in the world, from Bob Minster to Chris Potter to Jimmy Heath, rest in peace, to getting to study with Herbie Hancock and like Russ Ferrante, who's an amazing piano player, Vince Mendoza, amazing composer, arranger. Like, I've learned so much information from studying with them. But again, I've learned so much. I think it's a balance of like, I've learned so much from my friends, I've learned so much from my teachers.
I appreciate both. Like, I studied under Christine Guter, and she is the number one in like professionalism and timeliness and stuff, which I carry with me. But I learned a lot in school, but I've learned infinitely times that outside of it with the peers that I've had and on the gigs. That's where you learn more, I think, about yourself. Like, you might be gaining like knowledge of theory, and which is fantastic, honestly. I'm very grateful that I know how to like read music, and I know I came to Cal State Long Beach not knowing what like a head chart looked like. So very grateful for that. But it's really, I'm so grateful for the time I've spent and the things I've learned from all of my peers. That's the best part of music to me, is like the connection with the people you're making music, or the connection you're making music for. It's all about that.
I would say both learning from teachers and from peers has been huge. It's been almost a 50-50 split in terms of what I've learned from peers versus teachers in getting me to where I am today. And it went in waves. Obviously when you're young and you're first starting out, obviously most of what you're learning is from your teacher. And as you get older, when I first stepped foot at Manhattan School of Music, I was probably the worst like jazz trumpet player on campus my freshman year, day one. I learned so much, and I still do, from the people that I went to school with and played with out there in New York. Definitely the students that I was around at MSM, and definitely at Cal State Long Beach, and even my peers outside of school that I've been playing with out here, like, I would say the majority of the stuff that I've gained in the last 5 years have been from peers rather than teachers. But don't get me wrong, there have been so many effective teachers and teachers that if I didn't have as teachers, I would not be here today. I feel like surrounding yourself with people that you're comfortable with enough to take that kind of criticism and people that are going to surround you and push you to become better, that's the kind of people you want to surround yourself with.
I think learning from your teachers is great. They give you all the sickest vocabulary, all the sickest, like, they point you in all the complete correct direction. Learning from peers to me is like when I go to the drum shed and I listen and I say, dude, what was that? Or I'm looking at YouTube videos and I'm saying, dude, I want to play like that. I would say that learning stuff from my peers is just being in the room with them, experiencing what they're here to offer, and specifically at the drum shed, listening to what they're playing.
I think they both have incredibly important roles. I think you need a bit of both. One, having people who have the life experience, being a musician, they've hopefully have played with people. Having someone like that as a resource is, so useful, because they can provide insight, not just on like how to navigate things musically, but also how to navigate things just like life or career-wise. It's really important to have people like that, because it's also very easy when you're in school and studying music to get caught like in this sort of music school bubble where you're just around a bunch of people who all kind of are like doing the same things and all are interested in the same things. Now that's really useful, right? Because you find a lot of people who you have things in common with. You make a lot of friends that way. You make a lot of musical connections and people who you end up playing with for a long time. So that leads to kind of the other side of it. I always felt like that I developed more from just playing with my friends than I did necessarily in the classes. I don't think that the classes were unimportant, and I definitely learned a lot in my classes, but it was like getting my butt kicked by people who are the same age as me, or like all within 5 years. Check out the things that they're checking out, talking to them about the way they think about things. Yeah, it feels more accessible to you because it's people who are just like around your own age, and so it's like, oh, well, like they're working on this stuff, like I can work on that too. For me, it was motivation to work harder. My band that I had in New York called XD7, that came from a bunch of us who were living at the dorms, and we just started getting together every weekend to play. And that was like one of the most important developmental pieces for me, was like having that group, and that was just all people my age. I think having that band was the most important factor in my development, because not only was it like trying to develop my own sound, but it was like, well, what's the identity of the band? What is the band sound? That was really valuable.